Welcome back, America. We have our friend, great economist, as you know, Steve Moore. He's the co-founder of Unleashed Prosperity, former Trump economic advisor. Steve Moore, you know, it's my sense that the good news about the Trump economy is not really getting out there. I seem to recall when George H.W. Bush was running for his second term that Bill Clinton kept saying, we're in a recession, we're in a recession, we're in a recession. And we weren't in a recession, but people believed it after a while. So when you hear the Democrats going on and the media going on, you go, wait a minute. I don't think they're right in the least. Am I wrong? And tell us about the economy.
Well, you're not wrong, and it is true. If you look at the consumer sentiment numbers, they're bad. Most people think the economy is not good right now. But then if you look at the actual facts of the economy, they look really pretty good. I'll give the economy a B+, not an A, but a B+. And let's start with one of the most important statistics, which is how much are people earning, and are their earnings rising faster than inflation? And what we found in our analysis is the average family in the first 18 months or so of Trump's second term has earned, we're talking about people marked right in the middle of the economic spectrum. So the median income is up by almost $3,000 after inflation. So this means that people have more affordability under Trump, not less. Yet people are still angry when they go to the grocery store and they go to the gas pump. I know that. My wife gets angry when she goes to the grocery store and pays for ground beef. But the reality is people are doing better. Second point I'd make is when you look at how the United States economy is doing relative to the rest of the world, Mark, we are the envy of the world. We have the best stock market. We have more jobs available than any other country. We have, as I just mentioned, incomes are rising. I'll give you a statistic that I find astounding, which was just a couple of weeks ago, the Department of Labor reported, are you ready for this, Mark, that fewer Americans lost their job than any time since the Beatles were still playing back in the 1960s. That's an incredible statistic when you think about the fact that our labor force is twice as large as it was. So there, if anything, there's actually a shortage of workers, not a shortage of jobs in America. So yes, this is a positive economy, and the UK, China, the Europeans would love to have an economy like this.
And I think Joe Biden would have loved to have an economy like this, wouldn't he? With the Democrats controlling Congress and him controlling the White House. You know, people want to talk about the price of gasoline, but they don't compare it to Biden when they were chasing climate, change and all the rest of it and so forth. When the borders were wide open and people were flooding in, and the drag that had and the pull that had on the economy and so forth and so on. So when you compare Trump's, first 18 months to Biden's 18 months, or actually 48 months, Trump wins hands down, doesn't he?
Yep. So I'll give you these numbers. They're amazing. In Trump's first term, median income went up by almost $6,000. By the way, it would have been about $8,000 if it had not been for the COVID year. So that's $6,000 in the first term. Then Biden comes in. You know what the number was for Biden? It was like $500, not $6,000. And then if you look at the second term, as I mentioned, almost $3,000. So think about this, Mark. In the 5.5 years that Trump has been president, median income in this country has gone up by just short of $10,000, adjusted for inflation. The average median income in the United States today is $87,000. In most countries of the world, Mark, that would be considered rich. If you make $87,000, you saw what happened with the World Cup when all these Europeans came to the United States. They couldn't believe how rich we are as a country.
Is it fair to say, though, that because the media are so hostile to the president and so supportive of the Democrats, particularly in the lead up to the November elections, we have a heavy-duty propaganda problem here, which is they keep painting the economy as desperate. They keep talking about groceries and gasoline and so forth and so on, but there's no context provided whatsoever like you're providing. So we're having a huge PR problem here, aren't we?
Well, let's take gasoline prices. So I looked at what happened under the last three presidents, Obama, Trump, Biden. And so this was actually surprising to me because we do have a fairly high gas price today. But if you look over the years that Trump has been president, the average gas price adjusted for inflation has been lower under Trump than it was under Biden and under Obama.
We'll be right back.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.